Sweeney's looking ahead to this weekend's game against Lincoln, but we'll start with just your reflections on the game at Wycombe. I think for 88 minutes plus stoppage time, it was pretty much our game, and we probably felt a bit hard done by not to pick the win.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of games this year where we've come off the pitch a little bit disappointed. I think for us to go away to Wycombe and be disappointed with only a draw, I think that's a marker on where we've come as a team and kind of our mentality shift. The manager puts a lot of confidence in us, tells us that these teams are beatable and we're just as good as these teams. So yeah, you put in a really good performance, bar the first probably 90 seconds, which is disappointing on our behalf. So yeah, like you said, for probably 95% of that game, we were probably the better team and had the better chances. So a little bit disappointed coming off with a point, but listen, we'll take that all day. Going to Wycombe, it's never an easy place to go. So it's another positive result to build on.
Something Gary spoke about after that game and this week when he was writing his programme notes was the new identity that he's creating. As a group, it's clear that you're all starting to buy into it, and it is important, I think, that a manager is able to sort of create a new identity for the team. Yeah. And what we're starting to see is really starting to come into fruition.
Yeah, I think he's just breathing confidence into us. He's telling us that we're good players. We're good players and we play good football under pressure. I think to go a goal down on Saturday and play the way we did, it just shows the character that we have. Listen, we know we've got good character in the group because you don't get promoted without good character in amongst the group. So yeah, a new identity. I think we're playing a lot more football. We're taking a lot more risks in around the halfway line. We're playing a lot more fluid. Whereas previous we were staying down one side and getting the ball into the box. So it's just breeding confidence into us. And I think most games, I think when we went through that sticky patch of not winning in a number of games, I think we were still playing really well. And we're approaching games with confidence. So that's a credit to the manager and the coaching staff of keep the basics going and keep the confidence breathing in the group, and they've definitely done that.
Something you've been asked about before and you've spoken about in your column was the captaincy situation. At the moment, Will has the armband, but as someone who has previously had it this season, it doesn't seem to bother you that much that you aren't captain at the moment, and obviously that you're quite happy to support Will, and obviously there's no hard feelings there.
No, listen, when MJ left in the end of January, obviously the natural thing the natural thing in football is for the vice captain to take over. I did do that. Me and the manager had a couple of conversations about it, and he was quite open about it. He wasn't set in stone that I was going to be permanent captain. He was going to give other players an opportunity that was here or that was coming in. So I'm not too fussed. It's the manager's decision. It's not going to change the way I approach training every day or how I carry myself day in, day out. So Will's got it at the minute. It's his opportunity to show what he's got to take it with both hands, and he's doing a really good job. He's a nice fella. I said in the column that I'm not going to fall out with anybody because it's nothing to fall out over. It's only an armband, and listen, I'll still be a voice in the change room, and I'll still be someone that the boys will come to ask questions. So yeah, no decision's been made yet. So that's up to the manager come the summer to make that decision.
Lincoln this weekend. What do you remember about that first day of the season? It seems like an absolute lifetime ago we were up there.
Yeah, I remember it was about 28 degrees. It was quite sticky. The pitch was quite sticky. It was a little bit blurry. First game of the season in a new league is always quite difficult to judge. I don't think we played the way we kind of wanted to play. I think everything was kind of 100 miles an hour, as you'd expect in the first game of the season. So I remember we scored a lovely goal with Giovanni with some footwork, putting Sam Nombe in, and we went 1-0 up quite early. And then just the game never settled for us. But it's going to be completely different this weekend. We've come a long way, and I'm sure they've come a long way under their manager as well. So I think they're similar to us on points, maybe just slightly behind us or whatever. So it'll be a good game and one I'm looking forward to.
I think that game was very much a sort of welcome to League One. But like you say, we have come on a real way since then, and we've learned so much over, since August, that 12th or 13th where we are in the league at the moment, it is, we must be pretty happy with that as a group.
Yeah, I certainly am. Anyway, I think depends who you ask. I think 7 or 8 games ago, the manager was talking about playoffs. It was in touching distance, but I was pretty happy with where we were. I think for a newly promoted team to be sitting where we were, I think the highest we've been is about 8th or 7th this year. So to even get there is remarkable with kind of our budget against some of the clubs we're coming up against. It is really positive. So listen, we're a good team. We're a good team. I think we've showed that over the course of the season against Sheffield Wednesday, Derby away, Peterborough home, Wycombe home. These are all teams that have been in the Championship and above. So we should be proud of ourselves so far. But I think the aim now is to finish as high as we can and push into next season.
Lincoln, tough side to beat, as their record suggests. But we're at home, and I think taking momentum, but certainly from that last home win over Cambridge, is important for this one. Yeah,
I think it's probably something that we've kind of struggled to do this year. I think our platform over previous seasons has been our home form. It's something that we haven't kind of nailed down over the last season. So to get 2 wins at home back to back would be huge for us. It'll breed even more confidence into us, and I think that our fans deserve 2 home wins on the bounce, because I think pretty much every game this year has been a sellout. So that's been fantastic. And listen, I think they've backed us home and away, and I think it's up to us to put another positive performance in and push to get 3 points.
Finally, this weekend is the Her Game 2 weekend for the club, with the women playing at the ground on Sunday as well. I know you're quite keen. You often take your daughter out when the teams come out, and you spoke last year about this, saying that you don't want her to grow up in a world where she feels like she isn't able to do sport because of perhaps discrimination in sport. I mean, how do you feel about what this campaign does, and how important it is that women are able to feel comfortable in a sporting environment?
Yeah, I think it's vitally important, because we're in 2023 now, and to think that if anybody's daughter, my daughter, grows up when they're 13, 14, 15 and they take a liking to football, that there's nowhere for them to go to play football, or they'll get slagged at school for playing football or whatever, or something like that. So these women who are trying to, these girls and women who are trying to play football and there's no opportunity, that's somebody's daughter. So me thinking now, if that happens to my daughter, I'll be absolutely gutted. So I've got an opportunity now, and us as a football club, and there's a lot of football clubs who are backing it, including ourselves, to push the message out there and basically force people's hands to give these girls and women an opportunity to show, because England won the Euros last year, so there's obviously good footballers in this country and in other countries. So to have a platform like we do at the minute is vitally important, and we've backed it as players. I think a few players have gone to a couple of games and are doing different things for the women's team. So it's vitally important, and I think as a club it's something that we've done and we're proud of.
I think over in Ireland as well, the women's team have made the World Cup for the first time, and I think I saw in the news, terminology may be wrong, but I think the manager and the captain of the women's team are leading a St Patrick's Day parade through Dublin, which over in Ireland is a huge thing, I imagine.
Yeah, I think I've seen that as well. I think the ladies football team are basically flying the flag at the front of the St Patrick's Day parade in Dublin. They go to the World Cup in Australia. I think it's next year maybe. And they've done fantastically well. I think it's the first time in however long they've qualified, and they've got some top players in that team, and rightly so that they've been given that opportunity. So that only highlights how far the game has come for the women. It's pushing, and I think I seen something yesterday that the government has funded 600 million or something towards facilities and funding for the women's game. So it's going in the right direction, and as football clubs we can help out.